Before we begin, answer this in the comments below. Have you ever experienced a moment where simply feeling grateful seemed to shift your entire reality? Think back. Perhaps you desired something, and instead of chasing it with desperation, you simply felt thankful, as if it were already yours. And then without effort, it came into your life. Everything in your life is a shadow cast by your imagination. The unseen reality within you is the cause, and the visible world is only the effect. To change the effect, you must first assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not when the evidence appears, but now. And what is gratitude if not the perfect assumption that your desire is already yours? Gratitude is the bridge between desire and fulfillment. It removes the struggle, eliminates the waiting, and brings you into perfect alignment with your wish. To feel grateful before the evidence appears is to declare boldly, "It is done." This is not blind faith. This is the very structure of reality. Your imagination is the only reality, and gratitude is the affirmation that what you have imagined already exists. When you sit quietly, close your eyes, and see yourself living the life you desire, feel gratitude as though it were already true. When you assume the feeling of having received, the world must reshape itself to match that assumption. This is not hope, this is law. Consciousness creates reality. There is no power outside of you. Your thoughts, your assumptions, and your gratitude determine what appears in your world. Do not wait for things to change before you feel grateful. The world does not bring you gratitude. Gratitude brings you the world. The person who gives thanks only after the evidence appears is a servant of the world, a mere observer. But the one who feels gratitude before the outer world changes is the master, for they command reality itself. This is the great secret hidden in plain sight. Assume the wish fulfilled and give thanks now. You are not deceiving yourself. You are calling forth that which is already yours. Most people live in a constant state of, "I will be happy when." They believe gratitude is something they will feel after their desires are realized. But this is backwards. If you live in the end fully feeling that you already have what you seek, then gratitude is not something you do, it is something you are. This is how true manifestation works. You must be before you see. You do not become rich and then feel wealthy. You feel wealthy, and then wealth comes. You do not wait for love and then feel love. You feel love, and love appears. Gratitude is the emotion of already having received. The world may tempt you to return to doubt, to question whether your assumption is real. But remember this, your senses only show you the past, the remnants of old assumptions. They are not a guide to what is possible. Persist in the state of gratitude. Let your heart swell with the feeling of already having, already being, already becoming. And as surely as the morning follows the night, your world will conform to this new state. When you rise each morning, do not ask, "What will this day bring me?" Instead, declare with certainty, "I am grateful that all I desire is already mine." Walk through your day as if every step confirms the truth of your assumption. Do this, and watch how the doors swing open before you. Watch how people, events, and circumstances rearrange themselves to fulfill your assumption. This is not magic. It is law. The outer world must obey the inner world. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are the creator. The power of gratitude is not in asking, not in wishing, but in knowing. You must live in the certainty that what you have imagined is already done. What if I told you this is not coincidence? What if gratitude is not a reaction, but a force, a creative act shaping reality itself? The world you see is nothing but a reflection of your inner state of being, and gratitude is the master key to unlocking the life you wish to experience. Tell me, do you believe that gratitude is merely a response to good fortune, a fleeting emotion that arises only when the evidence of your senses confirms that you have received what you desire? If so, you have misunderstood the nature of creation itself. Gratitude is not a passive response. It is an active force, a creative act that brings into being the reality you seek. Everything in this world is a projection of the mind, a reflection of your inner state. The circumstances you experience, the people you encounter, the opportunities that arise, all are the outward manifestation of an unseen cause, and that cause is your assumption. What you assume to be true will harden into fact, and gratitude is the highest and most certain assumption of all. To feel grateful before the thing is seen, before the wish has materialized in the physical world, is to operate from a place of knowing rather than hoping. It is the bold declaration that what you have desired is already yours, that there is no need to struggle, no need to seek validation from the outside world. For the one who knows does not question. They do not look to the external world for signs, nor do they waver in doubt. They simply feel the reality within and trust that it will appear in due time. Gratitude in its purest form is the acceptance of your desire as already accomplished. When you give thanks for something, you are affirming that you have received it. You do not express gratitude for something you lack. You express gratitude for something that is already yours. And herein lies the great secret. When you assume the state of having, reality must conform to reflect that assumption. The outer world is powerless to resist the inner conviction of one who has already received. Consider for a moment how most people approach their desires. They believe they must first struggle, first prove themselves, first find some external means of obtaining what they seek. They work tirelessly, hoping that one day they will be worthy, that one day they will possess the thing they long for. And so they remain forever in the state of lack, forever chasing what always seems just out of reach. For as long as they believe they must strive to attain, they affirm their current state of not having, and the world mirrors that belief back to them. But now, imagine a different approach. Imagine stepping into the feeling of already being the person you desire to be, of already having the thing you seek. Instead of waiting for proof, you assume it is real now, and you give thanks for it as though it were already present. You do not beg, you do not plead, you declare with certainty, it is done. You enter the state of gratitude not as a reaction, but as a creative force, shaping your world according to your assumption. If you can do this, if you can dwell in the feeling of already having received, then you have mastered the secret of creation. You will begin to see the world respond in ways you could never have imagined. The people, circumstances, and opportunities necessary for your assumption to take form will arise effortlessly, as if by divine orchestration. This is not magic, nor is it mere coincidence. It is law. The law of consciousness, the law that governs all creation, decrees that whatever you assume to be true must become your reality. Most live in the illusion that the world is something separate from themselves, something they must change through force and effort. But the truth is far simpler. The world is only a reflection, and the reflection cannot change until you do. If you wait for something outside of you to bring gratitude, you will wait forever. But if you bring gratitude first, if you assume that you already possess what you seek, the world must bow to your assumption. Dare to believe that your imagination is the only reality. Dare to believe that your assumptions create, that gratitude is not an effect, but the cause. Look beyond the limitations of your senses and feel within the certainty of already having received. When you do this, you will understand that gratitude is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between the imagined and the realized. It is the bold statement of faith, the unwavering conviction that what you desire is already yours. There is no power outside of you determining what you can or cannot have. You are the operant power, the creator of your experience, and the only thing required of you is to assume the state of already having received. If you can do this, if you can feel gratitude now, not for what has already appeared, but for what you know must appear. Then you will witness the effortless unfolding of your desires. The world will shift, people will move, opportunities will arise, and everything necessary for the fulfillment of your assumption will come to pass. This is the truth that so few understand, yet it is available to all who are willing to test it. Stop waiting for something outside of you to change before you allow yourself to feel gratitude. Instead, step boldly into the state of already having received, and let gratitude be your proof. Let it be the unshakable foundation upon which your reality is built. Now, answer this in the comments below. What are you grateful for right now, in this moment? Declare it, assume it, and let it be done. Look around you. Observe the conditions of your life, the relationships you have, the wealth or lack of it, the opportunities that arise or elude you. Now I ask you to consider this one simple but profound truth. Everything you see is a reflection of your inner state. Your world is not happening to you. It is happening through you. Your assumptions, your beliefs, your dominant feelings, they are the unseen causes shaping the visible world before your eyes. Most believe the world to be something separate, something outside of them, dictating their circumstances. They believe that luck, fate, or chance determines what they can or cannot experience. But the wise understand that reality is only a mirror, a perfect reflection of what one assumes to be true within. You are never encountering anything in your world that does not first exist within you. Change the inner, and the outer must follow. If you persist in thoughts of lack, if you feel the weight of limitation, if you dwell in the idea that you are not enough, then your world must show you evidence of these assumptions. You will find yourself surrounded by circumstances that confirm what you unconsciously hold to be true. It is not the world that is against you. It is your own mind, your own inner convictions that are creating the experience. In the moment you assume a different state, the world begins to shift. You must understand that nothing comes to you by accident. There is no randomness in creation. Every event, every encounter, every success or failure is the direct result of your dominant state of being. If you desire to see something different in your life, do not look to the outside world for change. Instead, turn within and change the only thing that has ever held power, your assumption of yourself. Most people try to force change in the world through action. They believe that if they work harder, struggle more, or manipulate circumstances, they will achieve what they seek. But the truth is, action alone does not create lasting change. Action is only the movement of the world in response to your inner state. If you do not first shift your assumption, your action will be in vain, and you will find yourself trapped in an endless cycle of effort with little reward. But when you assume a new state, when you dwell in the feeling of already being the person you wish to become, the world must rearrange itself to reflect that assumption. You do not have to struggle. You do not have to force. Everything necessary for the fulfillment of your new state will unfold effortlessly. Opportunities will arise where none existed before. People will appear, circumstances will shift, and the path will be made clear. Think of a person who walks through life believing they are always rejected, always overlooked. They hold within them the deep assumption that they are unworthy of love or recognition. Though they may desire something different, their inner state of being ensures that they will continue to encounter rejection in their outer world. Even if someone does offer them kindness, they will find a way to interpret it as insincere, dismiss it, or attract someone who confirms their belief. Their world cannot reflect what they do not assume to be true within. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine someone who walks through life feeling deeply loved, deeply valued, deeply worthy. They assume that others are drawn to them, that they are seen, that they are cherished. This person will naturally attract relationships that reflect their inner state. Even in moments of difficulty, they will find evidence of love and support. The world must reflect what is dominant within. It does not matter what your past has been. It does not matter what your current conditions appear to be. The only thing that matters is the state you choose to dwell in now. The moment you assume a new belief about yourself, your world begins to shift in accordance with that belief. There is no power outside of you holding you back. There is only your own assumption, repeated so often that it has become your reality. If you wish to transform your life, begin by observing your inner dialogue. What are you telling yourself day after day? What story are you repeating? Are you affirming lack, limitation, and struggle, or are you assuming abundance, ease, and fulfillment? Change the story, change the assumption, and the world must follow. The greatest mistake people make is believing that they must first see evidence before they can believe in something new. But this is backward thinking. The world does not show you what is possible. It only shows you what you have already assumed to be true. You must dare to believe in the unseen. You must dare to assume that you are already the person you wish to be, even if the outer world has not yet caught up. If you persist in this new state, the world has no choice but to conform. The world is never separate from you. It is not something outside of you that you must change through force. It is only the mirror of your deepest convictions. When you fully grasp this, you will stop reacting to circumstances, stop blaming external conditions, and instead turn inward, where all change begins. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, persist in that assumption, and soon you will see it reflected in the world around you. Now, tell me in the comments, what new assumption will you adopt today? Declare it, claim it, and watch your world change before your eyes. Most live in the illusion that they must wait for the evidence of their senses before they can feel gratitude, as though the world must first give before they can receive. But the truth is, the order is reversed. You do not wait to feel gratitude once your desire is fulfilled. You assume its fulfillment now, and gratitude is the proof that you truly believe it is already yours. This is the great secret hidden from those who continue to struggle, trapped by their external conditions. They believe they must first see, but seeing follows believing. Gratitude is the perfect assumption. It is the state of mind that declares, I already have what I desire. When you assume the wish fulfilled and feel grateful in this very moment, you are aligning yourself with the reality in which your desire is already a fact. This is not make-believe. It is the law of consciousness in action. The world outside of you is only a reflection of the world within you, and nothing can appear in your external experience unless it is first assumed as true within. Think for a moment about how you naturally express gratitude. When you receive something, when someone gives you a gift, you do not question its reality. You do not wonder if it is yours. You accept it fully and give thanks. This is the same principle at work in the creative process. You must first accept your desire as already fulfilled before the world can reflect it back to you. The feeling of gratitude is the final seal of your assumption, the inner confirmation that what you seek has already been received. Consider what happens when one refuses to assume the wish fulfilled. They live in a constant state of waiting. They say, I will be happy when I have more money. I will feel grateful when my circumstances change. I will believe when I see results. But in doing so, they only affirm their current state of lack, reinforcing the very conditions they wish to escape. They do not realize that they are keeping their desire at a distance, for they are refusing to accept it now. If one truly understood that the outer world is a reflection of the inner world, they would not delay in assuming the state of their wish fulfilled. They would not wait for evidence, for they would know that the assumption itself creates the evidence. The moment you claim something as yours and persist in the feeling of already having it, the world must conform to that assumption. The law is absolute. It does not fail. It does not make exceptions. It does not require effort. It only requires that you remain faithful to the state you have assumed. Most do not understand how effortless creation truly is. They believe they must work, strive, and force things into being. But creation is not about effort. It is about assumption. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and maintain gratitude as though it were already yours, the mechanism of creation is set into motion. The world begins to shift in ways you cannot predict. People and circumstances align to bring about your assumption, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. But the mind is restless, always seeking proof, always looking to the senses for validation. It is here that one must remain steadfast. Do not look to the outer world for confirmation. Do not question whether your assumption is working. The moment you do so, you step out of the state of fulfillment and return to the state of doubt. Instead, remain unwavering in gratitude, knowing that the world is already rearranging itself according to your assumption. You do not plant a seed and then dig it up every day to see if it is growing. You trust the process, knowing that the unseen work is being done. Gratitude is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between the imagined and the realized. The moment you begin to feel grateful for something that has not yet appeared, you have claimed it as yours. You have stepped into the reality in which it already exists. And once you have fully assumed that state, the world cannot help but yield to your conviction. Think of the great truths hidden in plain sight. The one who feels grateful for love before they receive it will attract love into their life. The one who feels grateful for success before it has appeared will find themselves in circumstances that bring success. The one who walks in the assumption of abundance will see their world transform to reflect that assumption. It is not the world that must change first. It is you. You are never a victim of circumstance, never at the mercy of external conditions. You hold within you the power to assume any state, to claim any reality as your own. The only question is whether you will remain loyal to your desired state or allow yourself to be swayed by appearances. When you choose gratitude now, when you feel the certainty of already having received, you are standing in the only position of true power. Dare to test this. Dare to assume that you already have what you seek and allow gratitude to flood your being. Do not wait. Assume it now, claim it now, feel it now, and as surely as the sun rises, your world must conform to your assumption. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the life you desire. Imagine the health, the wealth, the love, the success. Feel it as real, not as something distant, but as something already present. How would you feel if it were truly yours now? That feeling, that deep, unshakable certainty is the key to all creation. And gratitude is the bridge that allows you to enter that state. Most live in the illusion of separation. They believe their desires exist somewhere outside of them, waiting to be attained through effort, struggle, and external change. But the wise know that all creation begins within. The external world is only a reflection of what is accepted in consciousness, and nothing can be experienced unless it is first assumed as true. Gratitude is the act of assuming the wish fulfilled. It is the declaration that what is desired is already accomplished, even before the senses confirm it. To express gratitude for something before it has appeared in the world of facts is to claim its reality. It is to stand firm in the knowledge that assumption precedes manifestation, that what you believe and feel as true must externalize itself in due time. The one who understands this principle no longer waits for proof, no longer looks to the outside world for validation. Instead, they dwell in the feeling of already having, knowing that the world cannot help but rearrange itself to reflect that state. Think of how gratitude operates in everyday life. When you receive something, when you know it is yours, there is no effort in feeling thankful. The feeling arises naturally because possession is already confirmed. But now, apply this same principle to the unseen, to the things you have not yet experienced but desire to. If you can feel gratitude for them now, Before the world gives you a single piece of evidence, you have entered the state of having. And once you have entered that state, reality must conform. The error most make is that they allow the senses to dictate their assumptions. They say, I will be grateful when I receive, not realizing that this very attitude keeps them in a state of lack. They are waiting for something outside of them to change before they will allow themselves to feel the joy of already having. But this is backward thinking. The world does not shape your inner state shapes the world. If you want to see change, you must first assume the feeling of the fulfilled desire. Gratitude is not a mere emotion. It is an alignment with the truth of being. It is the conscious acceptance that you already possess all that you seek. The moment you feel thankful for something, you have accepted it as real. You have moved from wanting to having, from seeking to possessing. And the world must mirror this inner shift. Observe those who live in perpetual lack. They are always waiting, always searching, always hoping that someday their circumstances will improve. But because they remain in the state of longing, they continue to experience more reasons to long. They unknowingly affirm their own limitations, and the world reflects those limitations back to them. They have not yet learned the great truth that the state one occupies determines the reality one experiences. Now, observe those who seem to live effortlessly in abundance. They do not chase after wealth, success, or love. Instead, they assume they already have it. They walk with confidence, they speak with certainty, and most importantly, they feel gratitude for what is unseen. They do not wait for the evidence. They create the evidence through their inner state. And because they persist in this assumption, their world conforms to match it. If you wish to transform your reality, begin by shifting your state of being. Stop looking to the outside world for proof. Stop waiting for circumstances to change before you allow yourself to feel gratitude. Instead, turn within and assume that you already possess all that you seek. Feel it as real now, and let gratitude be the confirmation of your belief. Gratitude is the final seal upon an assumption. It is the unshakable knowing that what you have imagined is already yours. It does not waver, it does not doubt, it does not question. It simply accepts, and in that acceptance, it calls forth the corresponding reality. Dare to practice this. Dare to wake up each morning and feel grateful, not for what has already manifested, but for what you know must manifest. Assume that your desires are fulfilled, and let gratitude be your proof. If you persist in this state, if you refuse to be swayed by appearances, your world will shift. You will see doors open, opportunities arise, and events unfold in ways you could never have predicted. This is not magic. It is law. The law of consciousness states that whatever is assumed as true must externalize itself in due time. You are never at the mercy of circumstances. You are the operant power, the creator of your experience, and gratitude is the key that unlocks the reality you seek. Feel it now, assume it now, and let the world reflect your inner conviction. Your world is a perfect reflection of the state in which you dwell. Every condition, every event, every person you encounter is simply an externalization of your inner world. Nothing happens by chance. Nothing appears without cause. And the cause is always your state of consciousness. If you desire to transform your life, you must first transform the state from which you operate. And the most powerful way to do this is through the feeling of gratitude. Gratitude is not merely a polite expression, not just a reaction to favorable events. It is far greater than that. Gratitude is a shift in consciousness, a movement from one state to another, a reconditioning of the mind to accept only that which aligns with your desires. When you deliberately cultivate gratitude, you are training your mind to dwell in the state of already having rather than the state of lack. The world responds not to your wishes, not to your efforts, but to the state you occupy. And gratitude is the state that aligns you with abundance, with fulfillment, with the realization of your desires. Most believe they must first see change before they can feel grateful. They think gratitude should be reserved for things already manifested, already visible in the world of facts. But this is the great misunderstanding that keeps them bound to their present conditions. They do not realize that the world does not give them reasons to be grateful. It reflects their already existing gratitude. The moment you feel grateful for what has not yet appeared, you are declaring that it already exists. And in that declaration, you bring it into being. The secret lies in feeling now what you would feel if your desire were fulfilled. If you had everything you seek, if your life had already transformed, how would you feel? You would feel ease, certainty, relief. You would feel deep gratitude. And if you can assume that feeling now, before the evidence appears, you have changed your state. And once the state is changed, the world must follow. Your state of mind is the cause. Your outer world is the effect. If you live in a state of doubt, fear, or frustration, your world must mirror those inner conditions. But if you dwell in gratitude, if you persist in the feeling of already having, then your reality must reflect that assumption. You will find yourself in situations that confirm your belief. You will encounter people and events that align with your new state, and the world will shape itself according to your conviction. Observe how most people live. They react to circumstances, allowing the outer world to dictate their inner state. If things go well, they feel good. If things go poorly, they feel discouraged. But this is living in bondage to external conditions. The wise do not live this way. They do not wait for things to change before they feel different. They change how they feel, and the world conforms. They assume the state they desire, persist in that assumption, and let gratitude flood their being as proof of their faith. Gratitude is the secret weapon of those who understand the nature of reality. It is the inner conviction that all is well, that all is already accomplished. It is the refusal to be swayed by appearances, the unwavering certainty that what is assumed within must be expressed without. And once this state is firmly established, nothing can prevent its manifestation. If you feel stuck in life, if you find yourself repeating the same patterns, it is because you are trapped in the same state. The solution is not in struggle, not in effort, not in forcing change through action. The solution is in assuming a new state of being, and gratitude is the fastest way to do this. When you feel grateful, you shift instantly from lack to abundance, from frustration to fulfillment, from doubt to certainty. This shift in state is the only thing required. Everything else follows naturally. You must practice this daily. Do not reserve gratitude for special moments or external blessings. Make it a habit, a way of living. Wake up each morning and assume the feeling of already having. Carry that feeling throughout your day. Let it guide your actions, your thoughts, your expectations. Do not wait for circumstances to confirm it. Become the confirmation yourself. Feel grateful for the wealth you do not yet see, for the love that has not yet appeared, for the success that is still unfolding. And in doing so, you will call these things into your experience. Gratitude is the language of creation. It is the feeling tone that signals to the universe, this is already mine. It dissolves resistance, eliminates doubt, and aligns you with the reality you wish to experience. The moment you adopt this state, everything changes. People respond differently to you, opportunities arise effortlessly, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. This is not magic, it is law. The law that states that what is felt within must be expressed without. Dare to apply this. Dare to feel grateful now, regardless of what your senses tell you. Dare to assume that all you desire is already yours, and let that feeling guide you. If you persist, if you remain faithful to this state, your world will transform, not through struggle, not through force, but through the effortless unfolding of a reality that has already been claimed. There is only one reality, and it is unfolding now. The past does not exist except as memory. The future is but an imagining, And yet most people live in these illusions, constantly reliving what was or anxiously anticipating what might be. They fail to understand that creation happens only in the present moment, that the only time you ever possess is now. To dwell anywhere else is to scatter your power, to separate yourself from the source of all transformation. But when you cultivate gratitude, you anchor yourself in the now, in the state where all things are possible. Most believe that gratitude is a response to something received, that it follows an external event. They wait for things to change before they allow themselves to feel thankful, believing that gratitude is an effect rather than a cause. But those who understand the law of consciousness know that gratitude is not a reaction, it is a force, a creative act that molds reality in the present. When you feel grateful now, even when your senses deny the fulfillment of your desire, you are shifting your awareness from waiting to having, from hoping to knowing. And once you occupy the state of already having, the world must shape itself to reflect that assumption. Look at your own life and examine how often your mind drifts away from the present. How often do you dwell on past regrets, replaying old wounds and disappointments? How often do you project yourself into the future, worrying about what is to come, imagining obstacles that do not yet exist? This scattered attention keeps you trapped, for you are giving life to states that do not serve you. But the moment you assume gratitude, you bring your awareness back to the now, to the only moment where true change can occur. Gratitude is the signal that you have accepted your desire as already fulfilled, and in that acceptance, you collapse the illusion of time, bringing the unseen into the seen. To truly understand this, observe what happens when you receive something unexpected, something wonderful. In that moment, your entire being is filled with a feeling of gratitude. You do not worry about the past or the future. You are fully present, fully alive, experiencing the joy of having. This state of being is not something reserved for rare moments. It is a state you can cultivate at will. And when you do, you align yourself with the highest creative power. Most struggle because they believe their future holds the key to their happiness. They tell themselves, one day, when I have more money, when I find love, when I achieve my goals, then I will be happy. But in doing so, they place their fulfillment outside of themselves, always just beyond reach. They do not realize that this very state of longing keeps their desires at a distance. They are affirming lack, reinforcing the idea that what they seek is separate from them. But those who understand the law of assumption know that there is no future moment when fulfillment will arrive. There is only now, and what is claimed now must manifest. Gratitude is the tool that brings you into alignment with this truth. It is the act of assuming the wish fulfilled, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. It is the feeling that tells the universe, I have already received. And because the outer world is only a reflection of the inner state, that assumption must become your reality. Observe those who live in a perpetual state of dissatisfaction. They are always looking for something outside of themselves to complete them. If they achieve success, they immediately set their sights on the next goal. If they find love, they worry about losing it. If they receive wealth, they fear it will disappear. They are never truly present, never truly satisfied, for they have not yet learned that happiness is not in things, but in states of being. They do not realize that the very feeling they chase is available to them now, if only they would assume it. Gratitude is the doorway to this realization. It dissolves the illusion that fulfillment is something to be achieved in the future and reveals that it can be claimed in the present. The one who understands this no longer waits, no longer postpones their joy. They live, in the end, walking as though their desire is already realized, feeling the gratitude of fulfillment before the world confirms it. And because they remain faithful to this state, the world cannot help but conform. You must practice this deliberately. The next time you find yourself longing for something, stop and ask, If I already had it, how would I feel? Then assume that feeling, dwell in it, let it saturate your being. Do not look to the world for confirmation. Become the confirmation yourself. Feel gratitude not for what has already appeared, but for what you know must appear. This is the difference between those who live by the law of assumption and those who live in bondage to external conditions. One dictates reality from within, the other waits for reality to dictate to them. When you shift into the state of gratitude, you enter the realm of certainty. You no longer question, no longer seek validation, for you know that what you have assumed is already yours. And once you have accepted it inwardly, the world must mirror it outwardly. It cannot be otherwise, for the law is perfect. Dare to apply this. Dare to let gratitude pull you out of the illusion of time, out of the habit of waiting, and into the realization that all you seek is already yours. If you persist, if you remain unwavering in your assumption, you will see your world transform. Not through effort, not through struggle, but through the natural unfolding of that which you have already claimed in consciousness. Doubt is the destroyer of all creation. It creeps into the mind like a shadow, whispering that what is desired is too far, too difficult, too uncertain. It keeps you tethered to appearances, making you question the unseen, preventing you from fully embracing the reality of your assumption. Yet, there is a force, simple yet powerful, that dissolves doubt and replaces it with absolute certainty. That force is gratitude. Gratitude is not an afterthought, not a fleeting emotion reserved for moments of visible success. It is a state of being, a declaration of unwavering faith. To feel gratitude before the evidence appears is to proclaim with unshakable conviction that what is imagined is already real. And once you accept it as real within, the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Most live in a constant battle between faith and doubt. They affirm their desires, but allow their senses to dictate their beliefs. They say, I believe I will have it, yet their actions betray them, for they still look to the world for proof. They check for signs, they question the process, they wonder when and how it will come. In doing so, they unknowingly affirm their own uncertainty. The world is only a mirror. It reflects not what you wish for, but what you truly believe. If you believe your desire is distant, it remains distant. If you believe it is already yours, it must manifest. Gratitude is the end of that battle. It is the surrender to certainty, the release of all hesitation. When you feel grateful for something that has not yet appeared in the world of form, you are demonstrating complete trust in its reality. You are no longer hoping, you are knowing. You are not waiting, you are possessing. And this shift in consciousness is the secret to all manifestation. Think of a time when you received something wonderful. The moment you accepted it as yours, there was no doubt, no questioning, no hesitation. You simply felt the joy of possession, the natural ease of knowing it was already done. Now apply the same principle to the unseen, to the things you have only imagined. If you can feel that same certainty before the world gives you proof, you have moved beyond doubt. And once doubt is eliminated, faith is strengthened, and the world must rearrange itself to match that assumption. This is why so many fail. They allow their senses to dictate their beliefs. If they do not see change immediately, they assume nothing is happening. But the wise understand that all creation is first unseen. Just as a seed buried in the soil does not sprout instantly, so too must your assumptions take root before they appear in the physical world. The delay is not denial. It is the process of unseen forces working to bring your assumption into reality. And the only thing required of you is to remain faithful, to persist in your conviction, to hold firm to your belief, to refuse to let doubt shake you from your state. Gratitude makes this persistence effortless. It shifts the mind away from questioning and into acceptance. It removes the need for external validation, for once you feel truly grateful, you no longer seek confirmation. You know it is done. You walk as though it is already yours, speak as though it is already yours, feel as though it is already yours. And because the world is only a reflection of your inner state, it must conform to this assumption. Observe those who doubt, who live in uncertainty. They seek reassurance. They analyze circumstances. They hesitate in their belief. And because they are uncertain, the world mirrors that uncertainty back to them. They remain stuck, trapped in a cycle of wanting but never having, because they do not yet understand that faith is the only bridge between desire and fulfillment. Now, observe those who live in complete trust. They do not chase, they do not struggle, they do not look for signs. They simply assume the state they wish to experience and persist in it. They feel grateful before the world gives them reason to be, and because they do, the world bends to their assumption. They move with certainty, act with confidence, and experience life as a series of effortless manifestations. This is not coincidence, it is law. The law that what is felt within must be expressed without. If you find yourself doubting, shift into gratitude. Do not wait for your desire to appear, assume its reality now. Feel thankful for it now and let that feeling be your proof. If you can do this, if you can persist in this state, nothing can prevent its manifestation. You will see doors open, paths clear, and events unfold in ways beyond your comprehension. This is not luck, not chance, but the direct result of assuming the wish fulfilled. Dare to practice this. Dare to let gratitude dissolve your doubt, to let it be the confirmation of your unseen reality. If you persist, if you remain unwavering in your faith, you will experience the effortless unfolding of all that you have claimed in consciousness. Not through effort, not through force, but through the inevitable realization of what has already been accepted as true within. Everything you experience is a direct reflection of the state in which you dwell. The world does not shape your consciousness. Your consciousness shapes the world. If you live in a state of lack, of longing, of hoping for a future fulfillment, then that is the reality you continue to create. But if you dwell in the feeling of already having, if you assume the state of fulfillment now, then your world must conform to that assumption. The secret to effortless creation lies in mastering the art of assumption. The world is not something to be conquered through effort, it is something to be rearranged by belief. And gratitude is the highest form of assumption. It is the inner conviction that what is desired is already yours. It is the feeling that confirms possession, even when the outer world has not yet shifted to reflect it. Most live in a constant state of waiting. They wait for circumstances to change, for opportunities to appear, for their desires to be fulfilled before they allow themselves to feel gratitude. But this is an error, a misunderstanding of the fundamental law of creation. They do not realize that the feeling must come first. The world only reflects what is assumed within. If you assume lack, lack persists. If you assume fulfillment, fulfillment becomes inevitable. Gratitude is the bridge between desire and manifestation because it aligns the mind with a feeling of already having. To feel grateful before the evidence appears is to proclaim that the evidence already exists, that it is already real, that it is already accomplished in the unseen. And once this assumption is sustained, the world must bend to reflect it. Consider how you would feel if at this very moment your greatest desire were fulfilled. Would you feel anxious? Would you feel uncertain? No, you would feel relief, peace, and gratitude. You would no longer seek, no longer question, no longer doubt. You would walk differently, speak differently, think differently. Because you would know that what you once longed for is now yours. This knowing is the secret, and gratitude is the key that unlocks it. Observe those who struggle, who chase their desires with effort and force. They push, they fight, they try to manipulate circumstances, but their struggle only reinforces their state of lack. They do not realize that their very effort is a confession of doubt, that their need to strive is proof that they do not yet believe in the reality of their assumption. And because they persist in a state of longing, they remain trapped in an endless cycle of seeking, but never finding. Now, Observe those who live in the state of already having. They do not strive, they do not chase, they do not beg the world for proof. They move with ease, with confidence, with certainty. They are not waiting for the world to change. They know the world must change because they have changed within. They do not force results, they allow results to unfold. And their secret, they have already assumed the feeling of fulfillment. They are grateful now before the world has confirmed it. This is the true power of gratitude. It is not a reaction, but a cause. It is not the result of receiving, but the act of receiving itself. The moment you feel grateful, you have accepted the gift. And once the gift is accepted inwardly, it must appear outwardly. To apply this, you must train yourself to feel gratitude in the absence of physical proof. Do not wait for circumstances to shift. Shift your consciousness first. Each day, assume the feeling of fulfillment. Close your eyes and see yourself as already possessing what you seek. Feel the ease, the relief. Let gratitude flood your being, as though the world has already delivered your desire. If you can sustain this feeling, if you can persist in this assumption, the world will be forced to reflect it. Do not look outside for validation. The outer world is nothing more than a shadow cast by the light of your inner world. If you see lack, it is only a reflection of the state in which you dwell. Change the state, and the shadow must change. Feel grateful now, not for what has already appeared, but for what you have assumed as real. This is the secret of effortless manifestation. Those who understand this do not live as seekers, they live as possessors. They do not beg the world for evidence, they declare within themselves that it is already done. And because they remain unwavering in this state, their world reshapes itself to match their assumption. The law is perfect, the process is certain, and gratitude is the tool that aligns you with its operation. Dare to feel it now. Dare to let gratitude replace longing, to let fulfillment replace seeking. If you persist in this feeling, if you refuse to let doubt creep in, you will see your desires unfold with effortless precision. Not through struggle, not through force, but through the natural and inevitable realization of what has already been claimed in consciousness. There is nothing to seek, nothing to chase, nothing to strive for. Everything you desire already exists within you, waiting to be claimed, waiting to be assumed as real. The world is not something happening to you, it is something happening through you, a reflection of the state in which you dwell. If you live in doubt, in hesitation, in longing, then you will experience a world that confirms those states. But if you dare to step into the feeling of fulfillment, if you cultivate gratitude before the evidence appears, then you will find that the world must shape itself in accordance with your assumption. Gratitude is the great secret, the bridge between the seen and the unseen. It is not a passive response to external conditions, but an active force that calls things into being. When you feel grateful for what is yet to be revealed, you are declaring that it is already done. You are living in the end, occupying the state of already having, and because the world is only a mirror, it must reflect this reality back to you. Doubt, fear, and struggle are the creations of a mind that does not yet understand its own power. Those who wait for proof before they believe will always be waiting. But those who assume the feeling of fulfillment, who feel gratitude now before the senses confirm it, will see their desires unfold effortlessly, as though by divine orchestration. This is not magic, not luck, but law. The law that governs all creation, the law that ensures what is accepted within must manifest without. If you take only one truth from all of this, let it be this: your state of being determines your reality. Feel fulfilled now, and fulfillment must come. Feel grateful now, and abundance must follow. Assume the end, persist in the state, and trust the unfolding. What you seek is already yours. It has always been yours. The only question is whether you will claim it now.